Jesus, Bob. Can't you see him concentrating here? You know, Bob, long-distance relationships can be difficult, especially when one of you is dead and the other's ignoring it for 30 years. But Lydia and I, we have a definite psychic connection. And I'll tell you something, she definitely saw me that last time. I felt a little tingle.
Welcome back. We're here with Michael Keaton. That was a clip from Beetlejuice. I was already excited, but I felt a tingle when I first saw Beetlejuice on screen watching this movie again.
Yeah.
36 years. That's a long time before you return to a character.
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
It's such a unique character. Where did any of this come from?
It's disturbing, isn't it? Because I was actually thinking of this the other day, and someone had asked me, and later that night I thought about it. I remember exactly when I kind of started, riffing in my house. I was leasing this house. I think I had a pool table in the living room. There was a bed, and there was, I think, maybe a chair somewhere. It was empty. And I had a couple of meetings with Tim. I just knew I dug him. Yeah. I didn't know what. I had no idea what he was talking about. Right. No, my hand to God, I would have a meeting and go, okay, and then I'd call, an agent would call and say, how'd it go? And I go, great, he's a nice guy. What do you think? He said, I have no idea. I have no idea. He had to explain to him. So I know there were 2 separate meetings, and there might have been a third. And there was just something about him, though, that you can feel it. I said, this guy, first of all, I just liked him as a person. So I said, give me like a night, So he said a couple things that I took home, and I went, I don't know, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I got this, I called, I think, Western Costume or somewhere to get it. I said, send me a wardrobe from like all periods of time. And then I just started going through the rack, and the walk, I don't know, I just wanted to do a dumb walk. I just felt like doing a silly walk. And he had the stripe thing and the pale in the eyes, and the voice, I have no idea. I mean, when I think about it, I think there's something seriously wrong with me. Because I swear to God, I thought, I know what I thought. I just thought, this would be funny. Yeah. And then I said, his nose is probably broken. He's got these horrible teeth, and I liked his irreverence and his subversion, and just, I just liked it. I just liked it. It's an excuse to go nuts.
It's great. But of course, the parts that really make me laugh hardest is when he does get a little quiet with his, shrunken head staff in there. Yeah, and he's very, he's sometimes introspective.
Sometimes introspective.
He is a little introspective.
That's my favorite part. I'm serious, yes.
He believes himself to be a deeply thoughtful person. And he's insane. He refers to himself as the Juice a couple of times, which I don't remember from the first movie. And that was maybe my favorite addition to this. Yeah. Is he talks about himself in the third person.
In the third person.
As the Juice.
Yes.
And I just thought, what a great new development. Yeah. That 36 years later, that's a thing he's added to his repertoire.
I love when people refer to themselves in the third person. Yeah.
Not just in the third person with a cool nickname.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are a couple of times where the Juice gets pretty sensitive.
Yeah, the Juice? Not everything's going the Juice's way. You do get to reconnect with Bob from the first. And what is it like working with this? Basically your entire staff looks like this in the film.
Yes. Yeah. And in life.
Yeah.
Yep. My team.
Is it? So what is that moment like? Because I'm sure there's some technical.
Well, but it's always like that. I mean, you're doing a scene with Bob, which then you think, then you just riff up. You just run a bit with that. But then you turn around and there's another scene that makes you just go off. See, when we did the first one, it was like no one really knew what we were doing. Nobody was really paying attention to us, and which was terrific. And Tim said it the other day. He said when he saw the script, he said he already knew visually what he wanted to do, but he didn't pay much attention to the script. Mm-hmm. And when I got there, I showed up. He and I had never rehearsed. He didn't see the full thing. And I showed up. I said, I don't know if this is anything, and apparently it was. So we just went off and made this thing and just had so much fun. I remember driving home from work one day. I was sitting in my truck at a stoplight and thinking, this is the greatest thing I've ever done. This is so much fun. It's just one of my favorite things.
And this is so fun as well. You know, it also has that same wonderful lo-fi feel.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, the only thing this movie looks like is the last one. Like, no,
Yeah.
and in a great way. Like, I don't know, it must have been so cool to return to those roots as well, even though technology has changed.
100%. That was our deal. You know, over the years, he and I would say, do you think we ought to do that? And there was a big, long period of time where I thought, don't touch it, just leave it alone, you know? And our agreement, you know, our handshake deal was, I shouldn't be in it. If I'm in it if I have any more screen time, it shouldn't be more than like 30 seconds or a minute. We're pretty close to that, I think. And also, as little technology as possible. You know, it needs to have that kind of handmade feel.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you'd be in a scene, honestly, not once, the whole thing, and you'd be kind of in the scene, and in the corner of your eye, you'd see someone like fishing line, like pulling like something, and a cat's moving and stuff. You know, oh, it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun.
And it's great, and I say it's just the best.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful. You got another movie coming out, Goodrich.
Goodrich comes out.
Coming out. When is that coming out? October?
Hallie Myers, who's Nancy Myers' daughter.
All right.
Very funny, very good movie. Comes out in October.
All right, great. Well, it's a really good time to be Michael Keaton. It's a really good time to be sitting next to him.
Spray paint some
Yeah.
my jewelry.
Just tag this whole city. Tag this whole
it up, baby.
city. What a pleasure.
Thanks,
you
Ross.
guys, Michael Keaton, Beetlejuice in theaters and